We are gathered here today to have a presentation on what I consider the most important position in all of sports, the ready position. And as you can see in front of you, I have set up several laptops and an itinerary with a breakdown outline of the presentation today, along with a slide presentation for you to follow along with the pictures of the ready position as I go over them. The ready position is vitally important in athletics, and it covers all sports, because what the ready position does is it gets the athlete in the proper position to have the quickest reaction to where he needs to get to. So as we look at the first slide and we go over football, the linebackers, when you see linebackers right as the ball is getting ready to snap, the linebackers are always in good ready position. So when that ball snaps, they can be the quickest to the point of attack. So as that ball is being snapped, you'll always see linebackers. They'll always have bent knees on the balls of their feet with their hands up, ready for that first step to go wherever they need to be. And so in football, there are other positions that use the ready position, but the linebackers are the most important because they always try to get to the point of attack quicker than everybody else. You'll see defensive backs in the ready position, but for the most part, the linebackers is the picture that I gave you today, and also the most vital to be in the ready position at the snap of the ball. As we move on to our next slide, and all you have to do is hit next on the computer, and it'll go to the next picture, you'll see a baseball player. And what I've done is on the We Play website, you have Derek Jeter, and he does a breakdown of the shortstop position being in the ready position. And in baseball, as you'll see in all these sports, there is a slight variation to the ready position, but the main points are all the same. And in baseball, what Derek Jeter shows is it's slightly different. The knees are bent a little bit more. You're still on the balls of your feet, but they always have the glove down because it's quicker for baseball to react up than it is to start here and react down. So almost every major leaguer, you'll see them at the release of the pitch. They'll all get in the ready position in order to be ready to react when that bullet comes at them from the back. Then we'll move on to the next slide, and then we'll hit the basketball defense. All right? And on basketballtips.com, what they show you is in basketball, defense is vitally important to be in that ready position. So when you're the on-ball defender in basketball, you need to be able to cut both directions, be able to go the direction that the guy that's dribbling the ball is going. So you always need to be in that ready position in order to take your cuts, in order to make the moves, so that you can stay tight on the guy that's dribbling the ball. And even when he brings the ball up to pass it, then you're in a proper position to defend him. Next, we move on to wrestling. Okay, in wrestling, the ready position is slightly different than in the other sports, because usually in wrestling, you have one foot slightly in front of the other, but it still doesn't change, because when you're still in the ready position. Your knees are still bent. You're still on the balls of your feet, but one foot is slightly in front of the other. And the reason that the ready position, which is called a stance in wrestling, is so important is because you need to be able to react very quick when that guy's trying to defend you, or you don't want any wasted motion as you go to attack your opponent in wrestling. So if my legs are straight and I have to bend my knees, that split second might be the difference in your success or failure on defending an opponent or getting the proper takedown. Now, next, we'll move on to tennis. Okay? In tennis, the more that we've moved along in time, the faster people have served the ball in tennis. So when you're returning a serve and that ball's coming at you at 110, 115 mile an hour, there is no wasted time. You have to be ready and set to react. And as you watch all the tennis players, You know, they'll all be bouncing around, but as that ball is getting served, they all, boom, come to the ready position so that they can react in that split second that it takes in order to return the service. And as you can see on that next slide there, you know, on BBC Sports, they have a great breakdown of the positioning of the person on the tennis court where they need to be when they're trying to return the serve. Now, as you can see, you know, we've seen quite a few slides today, and there are a few points that I want to reiterate, that every ready position is slightly different in every sport, but the concept is always the same. The reason that we need to be in that position is because at the highest levels, you don't have time to bend your knees to react to the balls of your feet in order to move forward, in order to react to that position. So like, let's say in football, you know, you can't be standing straight-legged at the snap of the ball and expect to be able to bend your knees, get on the balls of your feet in order to react. If you do that, it's too late. You know, that ball carrier is already by you, that receiver is already flying by you, and that's the same premise in all the sports. And that's why I feel, you know, that the ready position is the most important position in all of the sports, because it applies to almost every sport out there, even golf. When you see golf, when you see Tiger Woods line up to hit a ball, his knees are always slightly bent. Now, they're not as bent as other sports, but they are bent, coiled, ready to explode on that golf ball as you come through it. So, as I did some research and as I started going over things and I wanted to look for something that had to do with sports in order to do this presentation, I felt that there was nothing better to go over than the ready position. And I feel that, you know, it is the most important position in all of sports.